Sunset Overdrive is Insomniac Games' first leap into current-gen consoles, but is this open-world shooter worth your time? The game takes place in Sunset City. It starts off with you, the player, being just a cleaner before Fizco launches their latest and greatest energy drink, Overcharged Delirium XT, which turns most of the city into mutants better known as OD. The story revolves around you trying to leave Sunset City to escape from the OD, as well as the Fizco robots which are trying to cover up the whole event.
What is that? It's a glider. Once I'm over the walls, I'm going to expose Fizco's lies and make them pay for what they've done.
During the game, you run into many different enemy factions and friendly factions. The enemy factions are OD, Fizzbots and Scabs, and some friendly factions include Troop Bushido, a group of adventurers who now abide by the ancient samurai code, and the Fargarthians, who are live-action role-players whose fantasy suddenly becomes their reality. Character customization is a big part of Sunset Overdrive, to the point that your character, whether they are female or male, is never given a name. This, however, doesn't hinder the story. It is well fleshed out and allows you to make whoever you want and make that person wear whatever you want. The characters in Sunset City is what makes this game great, whether it's someone giving you a quest or your own character just hearing some of the funny dialogue they have between each other. It's what makes this game its own. Due to this, most of the characters are memorable, and doing missions for them becomes less about completing the mission and more about interacting with the character.
What a fuck up.
Yeah.
I meant you.
Well, what was I supposed to do?
The game also makes some interesting commentary on other games where suddenly after an event, a playable character becomes a hero for no reason whatsoever. They show this through a number of cutscenes and dialogue between characters.
Hey, if you do find a way out of the city, you'll come back and rescue us, right?
Come back? To Sunset City? Why would I?
Of course you'll come back and save us. You're you. I'm sorry. I don't even know why I questioned it.
There are many different missions available throughout the game. Even though some side missions don't actually move the story along, they are still fun and provide you with new rewards for completing them, such as new clothing or cash. Sunset Overdrive doesn't take itself too seriously. It focuses more on being a fun game instead of a game that makes sense. The game even breaks the fourth wall on a number of different occasions. You would think this would make the story less enjoyable, but it in fact does the opposite. You want to see how your character breaks the fourth wall next, and can't wait to see how they react in certain situations.
Well, maybe not a Fizco, asshole. But I'm gonna shoot you anyway, just to be sure.
Wait, listen, I'm not Fizco. I'm just here to steal computer parts from you.
How'd you think you were gonna do that when I got this here gun?
Yeah, I got guns too.
Damn!
Sunset Overdrive features a style system where the more combos you do, the higher your damage, such as the ability to get higher level amps when you get a higher styled rating. An important part of getting high style is to keep moving around. This can be done by grinding on rails or bouncing on objects such as cars. This mechanic does take a bit of getting used to, but once you get the hang of always moving around, you're able to pull some amazing combos which continue to make the game fun. Amps are special abilities that you can add to your character. They give you the ability to do unique moves such as having lava erupt from the ground when you have a high style level, and electrocute nearby enemies, and so much more. There are over 50 amps in the game that you can choose from. Amps are obtained by completing VAT missions where Floyd cooks up some amps while you defend the VATs from OD. Amps are also obtained through collecting collectibles around the city and giving them to Floyd. There are many different guns available for use in Sunset Overdrive. Guns can be given as rewards for completing missions or by purchasing them from Two Hat Jack with overcharge you collect from missions or from killing enemies. The guns are quite varied. There are also some normal guns such as rifles and pistols, and there are some more interesting choices such as the TN Teddy, which launches a teddy bear rigged with explosives that explodes when it hits an enemy. The wide variety of weapons available and interesting types makes you want to purchase every weapon available to see what each of them do. Sunset Overdrive also has quite good enemy variety. There are 3 different enemy factions, and in each faction there is multiple different types of enemies. You can stumble upon 2 factions already fighting while exploring Sunset City and can join in on the carnage.
Get ready to die, asshole!
A giant blimp is attacking me. Fizco's marketing is getting really aggressive.
The game also features a multiplayer mode called Chaos Squad, which allows 8 players to compete in a number of short challenge missions. After this, they defend VATs from an extreme amount of OD together. Playing this multiplayer mode can give you items for single player such as cash and more overcharge. The only downside is in some multiplayer matches the frame rate can take a hit. However, this only appeared in multiplayer and didn't seem to show up in the single player at all. Throughout the map there are challenges that you can complete to gain rewards or even just beat your friends or other players from around the world at certain challenges. There are over 50 of these challenges placed around the whole map. There is also quite a huge number of collectibles placed around the map for you to find. You can buy maps of their locations from Two Hat Jack if you want to collect them a little easier. Sunset Overdrive is an amazing game which takes around 30 hours to complete the main missions, as well as completing most of the challenges and finding all the collectibles. The game was a fun experience, and even at 30 hours, grinding and bouncing around killing enemies is still fun. The game also has many different enemy types, so fighting doesn't get stale at all. Plus, having many different guns and amps to take on enemies means that the experience doesn't get repetitive.